Welcome to the Zone. Many of you may recognize the name Sidorovitch from The Merchant and the Cordon, but it's also used by a veteran stalker located in the northeastern United States. This is the first of Sidorovitch's stories, a series of videos that documents his adventures in the Zone. Today we'll be following him as he ventures from near the ruins of the Brain Scorcher to a nearby untouched military base, with the primary objective of scouting it out and maybe finding some easy artifacts. Sidorovitch has already reviewed the satellite photos of the site, but is still going in relatively blind, with no way to know what the situation on the ground is, or even just how long he will be there. As such, he's packed heavy for this trip. He's armed with a Zastava M91 and a Steyr pistol set up for night shooting. With night vision goggles, an MSA Millennium gas mask, 2 days worth of food, a stove, a water filter, and various other equipment all jury-rigged into a Smersh, he's ready for anything he finds in the Zone. It's a clear sunny day in the Zone, almost deceptively so, as Sidorovitch sets out. He had done some quick scouting before gearing up, and found 2 routes in, one on foot down an old overgrown ATV trail, and one that required bypassing a closed gate with his vehicle, but cut about half a mile off of a difficult hike out. Opting for the latter, he has finished the last gear check and is now looking for a gap in the fence around the base. The wood is old and half rotted, but making a hole is a last resort. While driving in, he passed several liquidation workers and trucks, and doesn't want to risk any unnecessary noise. Even if he goes unnoticed, things like freshly damaged fences tend to draw unwanted attention in the long term. He pulls out his pistol, checks the sights, and then behind him. Both the pistol and the holster are new and unfamiliar. With his rifle slung over his shoulder for ease of transport, he's an easy target for ambush, so making sure his sidearm draws easily is important. Finally, a hole in the fence, big enough to easily squeeze through. Now he has entered the Zone proper, and now must take significant precautions to avoid detection and capture, or worse. The open field could be dangerous to cross directly. Unsure if the building ahead is fully abandoned or if there are liquidation workers around, he removes the lens caps from his scope and checks the building out from a distance. There's no sign of activity. No workers, no vehicles, and dense undergrowth around the building. Nor is there any sign of the brain scorcher. There were rumors it had been destroyed or dismantled. Sidorovitch checks his radio, then sets it to scan all the military, police, and emergency frequencies he knows of in the area, as well as the normal walkie-talkie frequencies. If he spotted and reported, an early warning could buy him critical minutes to escape. This is all that remains of the radar array known as the Brain Scorcher. It would seem that the rumors were true all along. Why have no other stalkers come here? Groundwater like this is dangerous to drink. Not only is there a risk of disease from pathogens in the groundwater, but in many places in the zone, the water itself is chemically contaminated. A good water filter can address the former, but only advanced purification techniques like distillation can handle the latter. There's no sign of chemical contamination here, though, and the EPA has not issued any warnings about the area. This is an important resource, as Sidorovitch only carried in about 2 liters of water, planning to filter what he finds for consumption and cooking in order to cut down on the carried weight. The control center for the site looms close now. It's larger than you'd think, looking at satellite photos. It's time to start looking for a good clearing to camp in, something with good concealment and enough space for bedding, gear, and a campfire. Following the fence behind the building, Sidorovitch rounds a corner. There's no entry point to the building here, just a strange pipeline. But this is a perfect camp. It's well concealed from both the road and the field, and has plenty of space. Sidorovitch sets down his rifle, sheds his smersh, and detaches his camping pack.
Oh, yeah.
A two-pack system like this allows stalkers to stash their heavier camping equipment in a convenient location rather than carrying it as they explore, saving valuable weight for ammunition and critical survival supplies, and increasing mobility. In the zone, the most direct way is rarely the fastest, nor is it the safest. Sidorovitch has already covered over a mile on foot to get here, despite having parked less than half a mile away as the crow flies. Now it's almost time to set up camp, collect firewood, and do some quick unburdened scouting. But there's one more thing to attend to first. The radio begins emitting static on the tactical frequency again. Sidorovitch turns it off for now, and then begins work on a minor gear repair. The recorder for his PVS-14 night vision was damaged on a previous trip, with the camera no longer adhering to the eyepiece ring. Anticipating the need for field repairs, he brought some double-sided adhesive foam pieces. Cutting a small square is sufficient to reattach the camera. While repairing the recorder, he notes that the lens is dirty and decides to clean it. He also turns the radio back on and sets it to scan the entire VHF spectrum, hoping to pick up weather radio, or perhaps a ham repeater. It's already been warmer than expected, and updated weather reports may provide early warnings about rain. The next priority is a campfire. There's enough brush that if a fire is small, it won't be visible from the road. Unfortunately, there's only brush here, and the pickings are poor. Most of it is still quite green. With so little dry wood around, it's time to look for alternative sources. The sun will be going down soon, and there was that fence he passed earlier.
Я солдат.
Я не спал 5 лет, и у меня под глазами мешки.
Я сам не видел,
но мне так сказали.
Я солдат.
И у меня нет башки, мне отбили ее сапогами. Йо-йо-йо, комбат орет, разорванный рот у комбата, потому что граната, белая вата, красная вата не лечит солдата.
Я солдат.
Недоношенный ребенок войны.
Я солдат.
Мама, залечи мои раны.
Я солдат.
Солдат, забытой Богом страны.
Я герой.
Скажите мне, какого романа? Уе,
Уе. Я солдат.
Мне обидно, когда остается один патрон. Только я или он. Последний вагон самогон, нас таких миллион.
Во-о-о-о. Я солдат.
И я знаю свое дело, мое дело стрелять, чтобы пуля попала в тело врага. Это рога для тебя, мама, война, теперь ты довольна.
Я солдат.
Недоношенный ребенок войны.
Я солдат.
Мама, залечи мои раны.
Я солдат.
Солдат, забытой Богом страны.
Я герой.
Скажите мне, какого романа? Уе,
Уе.
I'm a soldier, 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 soldier, soldier.
Request director 2-1, Arctic Charlie, negative, sorry.
A broadcast. Sidorovitch scrambles for the radio to lock the channel, but it's already gone. He backtracks on the frequency, but no luck. There's just static.
I'm a soldier, soldier, soldier.
Я солдат.
Недоношенный ребенок войны.
Я солдат.
Мама, залечи мои раны.
Я солдат.
Солдат, забытой Богом страны.
Я герой.
Скажите мне, какого романа? Уе,
Уе.
Tonight's supper is the US MRE Menu 23, pepperoni pizza. The meal is delicious. The pizza vaguely resembles cheap cafeteria pizza and is improved significantly with a large helping of the most valued item within these MREs, jalapeno cheese spread. There's a large oatmeal cookie that Sidorovitch eats part of before crumbling the rest into a warm pouch of berry cobbler. The chocolate protein drink can wait for later. He still has plenty of vodka, and the MRE drinks and dental gum are notorious laxatives. Now it's time for some night exploration. The following footage, although grainy, is from the night vision mission recorder that Sidorovitch repaired earlier. You can see here the full moon, and his campfire. The washout isn't nearly as bad to the naked eye. The flashing you see here is from an infrared beacon he dropped to mark the camp in case he has trouble navigating back. He checks and racks his pistol, chambering around, then function tests the infrared laser. At 20 milliwatts, It's bright enough to cause significant halo, so he decreases the power a bit. He's using a PERST-4M, and changing the power involves holding a side button down, while the laser steps down until wrapping around to full power, so it takes a few tries. Sidorovitch has a PVS-14, a single night vision binocular. It's a 3rd gen unit that offers excellent clarity, though he's not sure what brand the intensifier is, just that he bought it after it fell off of a truck somewhere. Unfortunately, at this point, the mission recorder fails, causing the loss of about half an hour of footage. Sidorovitch examined the main door of the building under the cover of darkness, and managed to remove a bolt from the plywood covering the door, but it was arduous enough that he decided to wait until he could bring back another person and more tools. This area will be explored again in the morning, in case there's anything he missed. With his night exploration done, he returned back to camp and patrolled it for a little while, and settled in for the night. He did pick up a local ham radio repeater, but there wasn't much activity, just boomers talking about politics, their radio setups, and their kids. Sidorovitch awoke early, unable to sleep further. Once it was light enough to see without a flashlight, it was time to start preparing breakfast. He already drank all but half a canteen of the water he brought, so filtering some groundwater is the first priority. This is a Katadyn guide, an old-school pump filter. The filter unit itself is ceramic, using tiny pores to remove pathogens and particles from the water. Pump filters are bulky and heavy compared to the more modern styles of straw and squeeze filters, but filter at a much faster rate, making them ideal for group trips where large amounts of water is needed. This filter is excessive for a short one-man trip into the zone, but it's the only one that he owns. Old Sphea stoves are self-pressurizing. Spilling a cap full of fuel on top and lighting it will pressurize the tank enough to get it started. Once pressurized, light the small fuel jet that appears, and it will produce an orange flame. Once the generator is heated and the stove is primed, the liquid fuel becomes vaporized before it exits and produces a roaring blue flame. It's not as compact or light as modern stoves, but it eliminates the need for a separate fuel tank that has to be pressurized manually. The filtered water is slightly discolored, likely due to tannin being leached from the leaves in the water source. In this part of the country, many creeks and rivers are translucent brown due to tannin. The water itself tastes fine and is safe to drink. He's still alive, or at least he says he is. Breakfast is a freeze-dried Mountain House MCW ration, Western-styled scrambled eggs with ham, pepper, and cheese. These are not unlike the civilian Mountain House meals that one can find in camping stores, but are vacuum-packed to save space and generally have more calories and sodium. Time to break camp. All trash goes in a small pile for later retrieval. Sidorovitch also stashes his camping pack and bedroll in the bushes. There's no reason to carry it deeper into the zone, and he'll be passing by this area again. After some deliberation, he stashes his gas mask as well. With fog rolling in and his gear stashed, it's time for Sidorovitch to start exploring again. He walks back along the same path he took at night, a gravel stretch running parallel to the building. The cold and damp has given him a runny nose, to his annoyance. While he has a med kit, the contents are things like anti-radiation pills, painkillers, and antibiotics. He makes a mental note to add a decongestant. The front door to the base is boarded up, and while penetrating it isn't impossible, it's still not clear how safe the site is, and it would be too much trouble to remove all the bolts right now. There's no hint as to what could be on the other side. The door might be missing, or it could be intact or locked. Take note of the signage here. Confined spaces are extremely dangerous. When a location is partially or fully sealed, rusting steel often removes oxygen from the atmosphere. These can be lethal to enter without a self-contained breathing apparatus or a rebreather. You can lose consciousness within seconds after entering one if not prepared. Brain damage comes within minutes, followed by death. While the vents on the building aren't completely sealed, the fact that the building is posted as an enclosed space warrants the use of a respirator and a gas monitor upon entry, ideally paired with a safety line and a few friends. Sidorovitch is back at the campsite, just on the other side of the pipeline. He decides to circle back around again, rather than push through the vegetation he just came through, and heads out to the road. This side road branches off from the main road, right across from the structures he's explored. What lies beyond is unknown, but could be worth a quick detour just to check. A mile-long stretch of road leads to the second accessible radar base. The third was already in use as a vehicle depot for liquidation workers, making it far too dangerous to approach. The fog that descended earlier in the morning is starting to turn into a drizzle. The walk is arduous and chilly. This complex is much larger than the one Sidorovitch camped at, though it shares some features. The same style of chemical tank, a substation, pipelines. The accompanying building is larger and shaped differently, with several clear entry points. Weather conditions are still deteriorating, and Sidorovitch was not prepared for rain. His primary objective of scouting the location is now complete, though there is more to explore in the future. It's time to leave the zone, but he already knows he'll be back. There are still plenty of secrets to uncover.
Ночь